Hello, welcome my bold and bearded friends. In today's video I have a review of a dupe of one of my favorite fragrances. So this is a dupe of Armani Prive Oud Royale, one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I mentioned it a lot already on this channel. It's a nice oudi, a little bit rosy fragrance. But above all, this one is really oudi. And if you know the brand Armani Prive, you already know that this bottle is around 220, 230 euros, somewhere in the neighborhood. So it's not really a cheap fragrance, you may say. And that's why I was very happy with finding this clone of it. This is Lattafa Opulent Oud, and it's a dupe of it, so it's really oudi fragrance. And in today's video we're gonna test them side by side. So on my left arm I will spray the Lattafa Opulent Oud, and on my right I will spray the Armani Prive Royal Oud. Let it dry down a little bit, and let's talk about the differences in the note breakdown. You have Lattafa Opulent Oud with a full note breakdown. It opens up with saffron and cinnamon. You definitely get the cinnamon and the spiciness in it. Mid notes of agarwood or oud and rose. The oud already is prominent throughout all of this fragrance, and base notes of agarwood / oud, amber and cedarwood. So it dries down to a rose oudi, warm and a little bit woody fragrance, which is real nice, real warm, cozy kind of fragrance. However, you most definitely can smell the differences in oud quality of this fragrance. Now let's talk about the note breakdown of Oud Royale by Armani Prive. This one has a more linear note breakdown, like most high-end fragrances have sometimes. Most have sometimes. Well, phrasing is everything, I guess. It has oud or agarwood. It has a nice incense. That's already the difference with the Oud Royale. It has a incensey, smoky vibe to it, which combined with the agarwood makes it more dark, mysterious, and already, like I kind of said before, the agarwood, the oud in this fragrance is of much higher quality. It's much more darker, has more depth to it. It's not really a stinky oud like some fragrances have, but this is just a sweet, woody, dark, mysterious oud, and that's real nice in this fragrance. It also has some sandalwood, gives it a little bit more of a creamy vibe to it, and some amber giving it more sweetness. So it dries down to a real nice dark sweet oud, but sweet in a more of a ambery sense and not of a real fruity kind of sense. The Opulent Oud, however, dries down to a more of a sugary sweetness combined with the oud, and a bit more, almost, I would say, more like a sugared rose, if that make any sense. But the Oud Royale has some, the little bit sweetness of the amber, but more of a spiciness through the saffron, which makes it a more dynamic scent because it has the sweetness, it has the spiciness, that's the depth of the oud and the incense, and also the rose note throughout it. So it makes a real nice, what some might say, Arabian kind of fragrance. Much more well-rounded, much more high-end smelling. And the original, the Oud Royale, is much less rose forward than the Lattafa. The Opulent Oud is much more of a real, if you want, a real rose oud fragrance. And the Oud Royale is much more of a oud fragrance with a nice amber notes and a lingering rose somewhere over there. But you can notice it. You can say hi to it, but it's not it's not as prominent as the Opulent Oud. I really like the Opulent Oud. However, the rose note in the Opulent Oud has me thinking a little bit of a toilet cleaner in the rose scent. You know, that's kind of vibe a little bit. I don't say it smells at all like toilet cleaner. I really like this fragrance, wear it a lot in colder days, especially because of the price point of this one, and I want to cherish it and, you know, have it for the special occasions. But that's a pretty prominent difference between those two. I would say both are pretty long lasting, around 7-8 hours, depending on the weather, on the amount of sprays you give it. So both pretty long lasting. I would say that the Opulent Oud, both are quite unisex, but I would say the Opulent Oud is a little bit more female leaning, because of the added sweetness and the much more of a rosiness throughout of this fragrance. And the Oud Royale has much more the oudy depth. It's not a funky oud, as they say, but it's much more a manly oud. And the added saffron gives it a little bit more of a spicy thing that I guess it's much more male leaning. However, I guess this one can still be, they're both unisex, that's what I wanted to say. Given the great differences in price point, I would actually recommend go with the Opulent Oud. And if you really like these kinds of fragrances, and you know you got the money for it, you can invest in the Oud Royale. But given the crazy differences in price point, I would go with Opulent Oud. However, if you want the more classy, high-end, more luxurious and higher quality smelling kind of fragrance, definitely go with the Royal Oud, or Oud Royale. For this is definitely one of my most favorite kind of fragrances, especially in colder weather. So, thank you all for watching. Have a nice day. See you all another time, another place, somewhere else, or just here. Ciao.